Hello everyone, I am so happy to see you again and I hope you are all doing well. Today we are making freezer meals for dinner and for breakfast. And the first thing I'm going to make is a black bean and sweet potato chili. So I need one large onion, which I will dice. The easiest way to dice an onion is to cut at a sharp angle like this and then cut crosswise. At the end of this video, you will hear me say that we made 5 recipes today. Actually, we made 7 recipes today. Now I need 2 sweet potatoes. Now, if the skin on your sweet potatoes looks all right, you really don't have to peel it. The skin, I think, should be peeled. Now I need to dice the sweet potatoes. So I cut the potatoes into slabs. This chili turned out phenomenally well. My spouse and I have been enjoying it with tortilla chips for lunches and dinners. And that's it. Our prep work is complete. Let's head over to the cooktop. I'm going to make this chili in my Dutch oven here, but you could use any large pot. I need a glug of oil. I'm using avocado oil today. About a tablespoon. Then add the onion and a pinch of salt. Stir to coat the onion with oil. And then I will lower the heat, cover the pot, and let the onions sweat until they are tender. That will take about 5 minutes. All right. My onions have softened. So now we can add 3 cups or 700 mils of either water or, if you have it, vegetable stock. I'm out of vegetable stock, so it's just plain water for me. I will also add 1 tablespoon of chili powder, a teaspoon of garlic powder, a teaspoon of ground cumin, and a small pinch of cayenne pepper. I also need diced tomatoes from a 14.5 ounce can. This is 411 grams. And add the sweet potatoes. Now this next ingredient is entirely optional. I'm going to add 2 tablespoons of brown sugar. Give everything a stir. I'm going to bring this to a boil, and then I will partially cover the pot and let this cook until the sweet potatoes turn tender. That will take about 20 minutes. We have been simmering here for about 15 minutes. Let's check our sweet potatoes. Oh, perfectly tender. Now, add the drained and rinsed black beans from 2 15-ounce cans. That's 439 grams. The black beans will not only add protein to this chili, but they will also thicken the chili. And there, the chili is done. As you can imagine, this chili smells just incredible. I will probably enjoy some of it for either lunch or dinner today. And of course, I need to let the chili cool completely before I can freeze it. And while we are waiting for the chili to cool, we can get started on some breakfast freezer meals. We are making 2 different freezer breakfasts, and both of them involve scrambled eggs. So I need a lot of scrambled eggs, like from 2 dozen eggs. This egg was already cracked, so I'm not going to use it. And I will save all of these eggshells to put in the compost. Here's my favorite tool for beating eggs. It's called a spiral whisk. I can link this whisk in the description below if you were interested. Let's head back to the cooktop. I'm going to scramble the eggs in this saucepan here. And please clutch your pearls because I am going to add a half cup or 113 grams of butter. Besides adding great flavor, the butter will give the eggs a silky texture. I see one egg that needs to be broken up. Now the secret to very delicious scrambled eggs is to cook the eggs low and slow. And while the eggs cook, I'm going to whisk constantly. And our scrambled eggs are done. They are creamy, dreamy, and delicious. I'm going to make breakfast burritos and also some containers with just scrambled eggs and bacon for a keto type breakfast. So I have some bacon here that I cooked earlier. All I have to do is scoop some scrambled egg into the container and add bacon. I love these Pyrex containers. They're freezer safe and microwave safe. I can link them in the description below. When the eggs achieve room temperature, I will seal these containers and pop them into the freezer. And then to reheat, you just put this in the microwave for about 1 minute on high. Now onto the breakfast burritos. So I have more bacon here. I'm going to dice this. So these burritos will be filled with scrambled egg, diced bacon, and 2 different kinds of cheddar cheese. I love breakfast burritos. I could eat them any time of the day. They are so convenient to have on hand. I have a nice little container here for the burritos. I'm also going to make French toast today and some kind of Mexican casserole, a dinner dish. 4 burritos down, 4 to go. Believe me, if you have these burritos in your freezer, you definitely will not stop at McDonald's on your way to work. I've run out of Pyrex containers, so these last 4 burritos will have to go into a Ziploc bag. And to reheat these burritos after they've been frozen, I simply place them in a paper towel and microwave them on high for about 2 minutes. Burritos will remain fresh and wonderful in the freezer for about 3 months. But trust me, you will probably consume them within a week. On to the French toast. I'm going to flavor mine with maple syrup and cinnamon. So I have 6 eggs, 1 cup, or about 200 mils of milk. Whisk that in. 2 tablespoons, or thereabouts, of cinnamon. A speck of nutmeg. And a splash of pure maple syrup. That's about 1 tablespoon. And to make life easier, I'm going to pour this mixture into a baking dish. I will use my electric skillet to cook the French toast, so I'm adding some butter. Then I have some whole wheat bread left over from the beautiful tea sandwiches that you and I made the other day. Just let these sit here for a moment to soak up the egg mixture. Now my skillet is heated to 300 degrees Fahrenheit, which is 150 degrees Celsius. And just like that, we have French toast. I'm going to put this on a parchment-lined baking sheet, and then I will freeze the French toast on the baking sheet and then transfer it to Ziploc bags once it's thoroughly frozen. I should remember to use my silicone spatula for this non-stick skillet. 2 more to do. I'm going to eat this last bit of French toast right now with butter and a little maple syrup. Oh, this is heavenly. Cinnamon and maple syrup French toast. Breakfast of champions. I'm going to pop this French toast into the freezer, and then we need to make a quick trip to the local farm store. I need to buy some cilantro for a freezer dinner. Of course, before we leave, I need to put all of my other goodies in the freezer. I really like these containers. We are home again, and let me tell you, it is very cold and extremely windy outside. Glad to be back in the house. So the next freezer dinner we are doing is marinated chicken. So I have some chicken cutlets here that we bought at the Berry Farm. Just patting them dry. And I'm going to slip them into Ziploc bag. I will do the same with these cutlets. The nice thing about marinated chicken is that you can make the marinade directly in the Ziploc bag, freeze the works, and then as they thaw in the refrigerator, the chicken becomes marinated, very flavorful, and very tender. And besides the chicken cutlets, I have some chicken thighs here, a good many of them. I'm going to trim off some of this fat. I think 4 thighs will count as one meal for 2 people. So these thighs are from my local supermarket. They are huge. These thighs are from my local farm store. They are from organically grown chickens, and they're much smaller and probably more flavorful. Let me clean the decks and definitely wash my hands. Now, before we proceed, I need to label the bags. Much easier to label them before we've filled them with the marinade mixture. So for these breasts, I'm going to make a fajita marinade. I'm going to turn these chicken thighs into lemon garlic herb chicken thighs. I really should have labeled these bags before I put the chicken in them. This last group is going to be maple barbecue chicken. For the fajita chicken, I will need a couple of limes that I will juice. Okay, fajita chicken. You need oil. I'm using avocado oil. And you really just need enough to be able to coat the chicken. Lime juice. I love the scent of lime. And I'm going to add the same ingredients to this other bag. Then to each bag, I am adding 1 teaspoon of garlic powder, the same amount of onion powder, chili powder, sea salt, or in my case, coarse salt, 1 teaspoon, half teaspoon of cayenne pepper, half teaspoon of paprika, and a half teaspoon of ground cumin. Seal the bags. To mix the marinade ingredients, flip the bag, squish the bag, and pound the bag. Good way to take out your aggression. And then repeat for the other bag. For the lemon, garlic, herb chicken thighs, or you could use chicken breasts. I need lemon, oil, again, enough to coat, about a half cup or possibly a little more, lemon juice. The lemon juice and earlier the lime juice serve as an acid that will help to tenderize the meat. Repeat for the second bag. This citrus squeezer is very efficient and very easy to use. I can link it in the description below if you are interested. Add 1 teaspoon of either garlic paste or garlic powder or fresh minced garlic. Then add 1 teaspoon of dried oregano leaves and some salt and pepper. I can link all of these marinade recipes in the description below. And our lemon garlic herb marinated chicken is ready for the freezer. And lastly, we are going to make the maple barbecue marinade. Oil, 1/4 cup or 59 mils of apple cider vinegar. 1/4 cup, or again 59 mils of maple syrup. This is that beautiful maple syrup that I buy at Tierra Farm. 1 teaspoon of garlic powder. 1 teaspoon of onion powder. 1 teaspoon paprika. 1 teaspoon of chili powder. 1 teaspoon of salt. Again, sea salt or coarse kosher salt. Black pepper. And a 1/4 teaspoon of mustard powder. Mash or squish and fight. Maple barbecue chicken ready for the freezer. Now when I want to serve any of this marinated chicken for dinner, I simply take it out of the freezer, let it thaw overnight in the refrigerator, and then I pour it into a baking dish or onto a baking sheet, and I cook it at 425 degrees Fahrenheit, which is 220 degrees Celsius for 20 to 25 minutes. And I like to lay these flat in the freezer so that they do not take up too much room. To the freezer. Let me clean up the decks, and then we are going to make a Tex-Mex freezer casserole. Onto the meatless Tex-Mex casserole. Now, this is the kind of casserole that you can freeze unbaked, or you can bake it off and then cut it into squares and freeze the individual servings. I'm going to bake mine off today. So my oven has preheated to 400 degrees Fahrenheit or 200 degrees Celsius. And the only prep I need to do for this is to chop up some cilantro and a bell pepper. I'm going to hold back some of the cilantro for garnish. My recipe calls for 1 green bell pepper, but I have some mixed peppers that you and I grew in the garden last summer and we froze last fall. So I'm just going to chop those peppers. I had cut these peppers into strips before I froze them, so I'm just roughly dicing them. I do have some frost on the peppers, but that's all right. The water will evaporate as these cook. My recipe also calls for 1 medium zucchini, but it's March. There are no decent zucchini to be had. So let's head over to the cooktop. So I'm putting my skillet over medium heat, and then I will add 2 tablespoons of oil. This is avocado oil. Then I need 1 large chopped onion and the bell peppers. Give this a toss to coat the onion and the bell pepper with the oil. Then I will cover the skillet and let this cook gently until the onions and peppers have softened. That will take 4 to 5 minutes. All right, onions and peppers have softened. Now add 4 ounces or 113 grams of green chilies from a can, 26.5 ounces or 750 grams of strained tomatoes, 2¼ ounces or 64 grams of sliced black olives, a ½ teaspoon of salt, a ½ teaspoon of garlic powder, grinds of black pepper, a ½ teaspoon or thereabouts of chili powder, a ¼ teaspoon of cayenne pepper. Give this a mix. Then add 1 15-ounce can of drained and rinsed black beans. So this is the second time that we are using black beans today. Then I need a nice handful of the cilantro that we chopped. And if you do not like cilantro, just leave it out. And that's it. Our filling for this casserole is made. This casserole is akin to a lasagna. It's a layered dish. And I need to grease my 9 by 13 baking dish. Then I need 12 tortillas. These are corn tortillas, so this is a gluten-free casserole. And I'm going to line the bottom of the baking dish with 6 corn tortillas. And you just overlap the tortillas. Then I'm going to cover these tortillas with half of this beautiful vegetable mixture. Boy, does this smell incredible. Spread it about, and then top the vegetable mixture with a nice handful of Monterey Jack cheese, or the cheese of your choice. Then layer on the remaining 6 tortillas. Add the remaining vegetable mixture. And top with sharp cheddar cheese. As I said earlier, you can freeze this casserole unbaked, or you can do what I'm going to do and bake it off right now. I will only bake this until the cheese melts. That will take 15 to 20 minutes. Oh my goodness, what a beautiful casserole. Now I'm going to let this cool for a bit. Meantime, let me show you everything we made today. Well, this was some major meal prep today. From only 5 recipes, we achieved at least 28 freezer meals. So we have our beautiful sweet potato and black bean chili, which I will freeze in containers like this one. And we have our fajita chicken and the lemon garlic herb chicken and the maple barbecue chicken and the breakfast burritos, French toast, and then the little containers of just scrambled eggs and bacon. My marinated chicken froze very quickly. It was only in the freezer for about 2 hours. Okay. I'm going to return all of these things to the freezer, and then I think we should cut up this Tex-Mex casserole and enjoy it for dinner in front of a fire. It's very cold here today. I also want to show you the big forsythia branches that you and I clipped the other day. They're in full bloom now in the parlor. All the branches needed was water and the warmth of my parlor to burst into glorious golden bloom. I want to garnish our casserole with a little sour cream and a sprinkling of chopped cilantro. And I'm serving the casserole alongside some baby lettuce leaves. Earlier, I said that we achieved 28 freezer meals from 5 recipes. We counted this entire casserole as one meal, but in fact, it is 10 meals. So we actually have 37 freezer meals from 5 recipes. Let's head into the parlor. I cannot wait to tuck into this vegetarian dinner. The flavors in this Tex-Mex casserole are really incredible. There's a tiny amount of heat, a tiny amount of spice, but nothing overwhelming. It's just pure deliciousness. Thank you for spending time with me today as we turned 5 simple recipes into 37 incredibly wonderful freezer meals. Again, I will link the recipes in the description below. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. I can post a couple of my other videos at the end of this one that you can enjoy between now and my next upload. Until then, please treat yourself well, and I will see you in the next episode. Salut!